So you guys both do stand-up and everything else.
Yeah.
Do you see people grapple with issues that are going on within the gay community? Biphobia, colorism, any of that come up on stage? Again, I've been out of the loop for a minute.
You know what's super interesting, and Amy, I'd be curious to hear any of your thoughts on this too, but my sister who's also queer, she came to like a queer comedy show, and she was kind of like, these are all gay jokes for straight people.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I would say too, until more recently, where I started to do a lot more kind of like queer specific shows and the queer open mic, a lot of, my like queer jokes have been geared toward a straight crowd. So it's like where you think your punchline's gonna be is more, to shock like a mainstream audience. But when you're speaking to your community, they're just like, you used a strap on, keep going.
Right, like where's the humor?
Information or something I can use,
Right.
You know, it's funny, I was on a show last night that was not queer specific, but I have a lot of jokes about being gay, obviously, and I started talking about one of them, and a dude from the back row yelled, "Not a surprise!" Like he wasn't shocked that I was gay, and it really, like, it kind of shook me in a way that I wasn't expecting, because I've been heckled before, but I realized, like, so much of being a queer person is making yourself palatable to a straight audience, and when you feel like, I'm not even going all the way in, dude. And like that's still the way that you're talking to me. It was like a real interesting moment for me just to think like, man, and I do love like a queer space or a queer show when you're, like I've done jokes about like Tegan and Farrah, the Indigo Girls, and like the straight audience is like, oh, okay. Like, those sound like nice bands, and like a lesbian crowd dies. It's just interesting to see, and so, I don't think that as a queer community, like in comedy, I feel like it's still we're still kind of coming off of like Ellen as show pony. Here's where like there's so few like famous queer comics still.
Yeah, and actually I got heckled super recently. One of the jokes I've told the most often, I say, I'm bisexual on stage, and this guy yelled from the crowd, "Prove it."
Oh.
And I mostly just kind of berated him, but what I wish I had said was, are your mom and dad here? I'll fuck them both.
If you like that video, remember to click the subscribe and like buttons below and like us on all social media.